Welcome to the first official episode of A Tongue Lashing, Kids. Now, this episode's subject matter is marriage in 2020. Why don't we just dive right into this one, because we all know it's endless. Is it a failed institution? What do you think, kids? Because some stats say yes. 60% of couples who get married between the ages of 20 and 25 end in divorce. And those that get married after the age of 25 are 24% less likely to get divorced, all right? So people who get married young are prone to divorce. And that's not surprising to me at all, because I couldn't pick a good beer when I was 24, much less a wife, right? I was a little too busy spitting game at Miss Right Now, not Miss Right, if you know what I'm talking about. So let's check this out. Right now, time and age in this subject matter is a good thing for you. And for me personally, I was about 34 years old when I got married, and it couldn't have been better, right? I needed to grow up a little bit. Some of you that know me know what I'm talking about. So why is divorce so high for our young couples? Well, I got a few ideas why. In my opinion, in America at least, life is pretty tough, man, right? We got young couples, they're trying to get established, right? They're trying to maintain their careers. And then, of course, financial stability, and then you want to start a family on top of all that? It's tough. And as a father, I can tell you right now that being a parent is the most rewarding but toughest jobs in the world. And it's tough because it is 24/7, 100%, 365 with no breaks. So the stress on our young couples, it's tough nowadays. And now with social media, temptation to meet other people isn't in your everyday encounters. Oh, no. It's worldwide on the web, baby, with tons of platforms to meet different people and have temptations at the push of a button. How about that? So listen to this. 40% of unmarried relationships and 25% of marriages see at least one incident of infidelity. And just because there's married people on dating sites doesn't mean that they're cheating. Now, check this out. Some people may have kind of like an understanding, you know what I mean, within their partnership, right? Listen, you go out and bone whoever you want, okay? But if I see you emptying another woman's dishwasher, I'll kill you. So, marriage and divorce. Marriage and Divorce Journal stated that 70% of all Americans engage in some kind of affair sometime during their marital life. That stat will scare the hell out of you, won't it? Right? Some of you are watching this podcast with your partner right now, kind of doing this. When talking to my parents and more mature friends, you know, I always make the statement that it's not 1955 anymore, right? I mean, times have changed and the demands on us are so much greater, right? And the simple life is no longer, it's gone, unless you live in Bora Bora, which is my retirement plan. But anyway, now I was blessed to see both sets of grandparents see over 50 years of marriage. Is that insane? Both sets of grandparents? And now my parents are celebrating 53 years of being together. So pretty incredible. And I'm pretty proud to say that, right? And now that I'm older and I'm a little bit more mature, I know how hard it is to maintain the married life, right? And you know, my parents saw every obstacle that you could possibly think of that a couple could encounter, from the loss of their first child to separating so that I could pursue my career in Orlando, Florida. My mom was with me when I was younger, so they were separated and they had to do that. And financial ups and downs, moving from state to state. They have seen it all. And I'm very proud to say through all of that they are still together to this day. Now, the wife and I just celebrated 11 years of marriage, and we've been together for 16. And let's be honest, for my generation, that's like 35 years. What's our secret? Well, I'll tell you right now. I took a quote from my father when he first met my mother and he fell in love with her. That's right. And I just told her, look, you're not going anywhere. That was pretty much it. That's all I said. Now, only two people deeply in love can hear that as a declaration of commitment and not a kidnapping threat, okay? So don't use that one on the first date, all right? But I just pretty much just let her know that she just didn't have a choice in the matter, right? And listen, trust me, for only 11 years married, we have definitely seen our ups and downs, all right? Yeah, and this may be a shock to some of you, but I can be a handful at times. I know, shocker. You're blown away. But I do have my moments. I really think it comes down to a choice. You gotta really want it badly, right? Because check this out. When you want it badly, right, you'll work for it. And like everything else in life, okay, you're gonna have to work for what you want. I know, but that's just the way it is. And anything that's worth having is worth working for. Yeah, and fighting for that matter. So, in my opinion, the key to a successful marriage, check this out. It's admitting when you're wrong, okay? And keeping a detailed mental file of all the times your partner's wrong. There it is. Now, she's probably gonna be better at this than you are, fellas. I'm sorry, that's just the way it goes. Now, fight for that marriage, okay? Because divorce is tough. I've seen it, you've seen it, we've all seen what it can do to it, and a few of my peers have gone through this, and I gotta tell you, man, it's tough, and it's very taxing on the kids. Another movement that's taking place out there, independent women. Who's with me, baby? Which, listen, I'm all for. I mean, I think it's great. But women now are career driven, okay? And they don't want to be stay-at-home moms, right? In the little minivans. I get it. They want to go out and they want to make their own money, baby. And listen, a lot are. And again, I think it's awesome. You know, but I think that plays a part in a lot of women right now not desiring to get married. You know, they don't want to get married anymore. You know, women want to go out and they want to earn that living. I do my hair, toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling underpaid. And for a lot of people out there, you know what? They're thinking, why get married when I have so many choices, right? On an episode of season 1 of my podcast, I talked about this, all right? I talked about dating sites. And now with the World Wide Web, you can pretty much find whatever you're looking for. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's out there on the internet, you know? You want an albino midget that plays the cello with a prosthetic leg? No problem. They have a whole site for that. So, with life becoming so hard to maintain, all right, women wanting to be independent, rightfully so, not be stay-at-home moms, and then you got so many choices out there with the push of a button on the World Wide Web, well, maybe we see the concept of marriage gradually fade away, huh? Think about that. Now, what would be the outcome? I'll tell you what, I think it would be sad because it is the foundation for family, right? It's also the foundation and the strongest way to show love and commitment to your partner, the one that you love, you know? And I know we all believe in love, right? Come on! And we're going through some crazy times right now, kids, am I right? I mean, I am fearful that the age of COVID will destroy lots of marriages. Millions of people right now are having that epiphany and they're realizing that the deserted island fantasy didn't include house arrests for 9 months. Oh my God. I know you feel me on that, married couples. I tell you what, and listen, all this hate in the world, I mean, we're so divided right now and I can't stand it, you know, and I think that's what the problem is right now in this world is all that hate. We're lacking love. Yeah, I said it, love, but it's true. Because love is the nucleus of all things good in the world. And we gotta have it. I know you agree with me on that. Right, kids? Listen, and I'm a firm believer that if you truly love someone and you want to share that commitment of marriage, well, you should be able to do it. And nobody should be able to dictate who you love and who you want to get married to and who you want to be committed to, okay? Now check this out. In America, same-sex marriage is at 10.2% right now, okay? Up from 7.9% 2 years ago, right? Now to me, I don't know, that number feels just a little low. I'm wondering if the gay community is going, you know what? We're just not ready for all that domestic crap yet. Incredible that 60% of the young marriages out there are gonna end in divorce, and yet millions of people are still getting married every year. It always cracks me up, I love it. You know, don't you kind of get a chuckle at all these very attractive, very wealthy couples, usually in Hollywood, and they can't make it? I mean, you see them, you go, God, if they can't make it, I just lose all hope. I mean, I think, what about that amazing singer Seal and Heidi Klum? He just got sick and tired of his absolutely gorgeous wife, Heidi, coming over with all her Victoria's Secret friends in lingerie, hanging out, drinking tea all day, right? Blows my mind. Hello, Heidi. You know, I have to tell you, honey, you're ugly, and I hate all your friends coming over here in their lingerie. Now, for a lot of people, it's just something that they have to do, maybe? I don't know. I mean, is it pushed and forced and not really for the genuine reason of doing it for love? What a concept, right? Because they truly love the person. Call me crazy. Well, it's pretty interesting to me, and I got to be honest with you. I think that we may be talking about this subject matter for quite a few times to come here on my podcast, all right? So listen, let's move on to our guest. Honored to have him here today. Now listen, this gentleman came to mind because I think he's perfect for this subject matter. He is a devoted father, devoted husband, married for 53 years, and absolutely adores his wife. Yeah, pretty incredible man. So I'm glad to have him here. He's self-made, and he's just, he's gonna be perfect for this interview today. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Philip Pampolina, my dad. Everybody, you ready, baby?
Yep. Interview time.
Interview Big Daddy, you ready? Philip Pampolina, thank you so much for coming to the studio.
How could I tell my son no? Think I'm gonna let him down?
Listen,
Hit it, Guns!
there was a ton of people for this interview, but I thought you would probably be the best since you've been married for 53 years. It's pretty incredible.
Yes, it is. That's because I married my soulmate.
We already kind of answered the first question. My question was, I guess first off, how did you do it? I mean, that's amazing. How do you do 53 years?
Well, the secret to 53 years of marriage is, first of all, I knew the very first day that I met Ginger that she would be with me for the rest of my life. Now listen, we dated 4 years, so we've been together 57 years.
57.
And the reason it works is mainly because of the fact of LOVE. You can never, if you're going to choose a mate and you've got all the characteristics of why you're marrying that woman and want to make that commitment for better, for worse, death do us part, you got to know that that's the one for you, and you cannot fall out of love. People say love is blind, it does this, it does that, but that is one of the main factors. And the reason that you want to stay with that mate is because of all the traits and the reason why you fell in love with her to begin with. You cannot fall out of love. That's one of the main traits as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. So what do you think couples, what were the challenges that couples saw 53 years ago that you think maybe couples nowadays are not challenged by? You got me? So the challenges that maybe you guys saw back then that couples nowadays are not seeing or don't have.
I think one of the main things is the word commitment. When you make that commitment, you made a commitment for better, for worse, rich, poor, until death do us part.
Yeah.
And I told Ginger when we were dating, I said, Ginger, listen, you're not going anywheres.
Told you.
You are not going anywheres. No matter what happens, we're going to work this out together and we're going to stay together and enjoy our life. And she also made that commitment to me. So the main thing that we see in today's world is could be possible, hey, let's get married. If it don't work, it's too easy, get a divorce.
Yeah.
The word divorce in our vocabulary with Ginger and I was never an option.
And I think back then in that era, it wasn't very common either. It wasn't very popular back then.
No.
When you guys were first coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, a great example was my own mom and dad married almost 60 years, and Ginger's mother and father also married almost 60 years. So the example was set right there. You know, it's easy, and listen, no one said marriage is going to be easy, but if you don't work at it, and another thing, you can never lose respect for your mate.
For your mate.
Once you lose that respect, and if you fall out of love, the marriage is not going to work. I assure you.
Yeah. You guys saw a ton of obstacles. I've always said some of the toughest that are out there for a married couple. 90% of married couples that lose a child will divorce. So my mother and father are 10 percentile that have made it through that obstacle. On top of separating, my mom came with me for my career, right? Mom, you guys were separated for that. Financial ups and downs. We've moved a few times, obviously. So all the things that encompass, when you think of couples and obstacles, you guys encompass all that. What do you think the secret is then to overcoming those obstacles? How did you do it?
Well, once again, that is your soulmate. And the way we looked at it, of course, losing our beautiful first daughter was that here we've already lost a child. Trying to accept that and try to figure out what happened with that tragedy. And then I'm going to turn around and leave my wife, so I will have a double jeopardy to deal with. Who am I going to turn to also to help each other get through that? Of course, the one thing that you've got to have in that marriage also is God, and God is the one that got us through accepting the fact that we had to lose that first child. And it took a good while. It wasn't easy. It's easy to bail out. It's easy to say, I'm out of here. I can't handle this. But through faith and looking back at it, she was very, very special. She was gifted. God had a reason for her to come into our life for a short period of time. And through that experience, that child probably helped someone else that had a situation that Felice did with cancer. And so I read an article several years later, and children that are special need are God's earth angels to come to this earth and to help improve better things. But it really got Ginger and I closer than ever before after losing that beautiful child.
So it reversed. It actually bonded you guys as opposed to separating.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's incredible.
Yes.
I've always said that I probably should be dead 5 times over with the crazy stuff that I've done. So maybe she's a blessing in so many ways, and my angel.
Yes, she
and
is.
Carlos.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
My
other sister.
She is definitely a guardian angel in our family, and it's interesting. It's interesting too how people will say, "Hey, how many children do you have?" And I say, "We had 3. We have our guardian angel, and then we're blessed with Carla, and then of course we have Damon. So we never left her out of our family. She is part of our family, and she's with us every day."
Yeah. How was it having a son that had more energy than you did in the house? How did that?
Well, it's real simple.
And how did that help marriage?
Well, it was fantastic because here was a perfect storm. When you and I would work up the same day with the energy at 178%, Mother would say real quick, "Okay, you two, it's time for y'all to go. Go find something to do." And of course we would. So we would wind up going to New Orleans. Come back relaxed, everything great. And she accepted it. How could she fuss? I'm with my son.
Yeah, but then she said, "Listen, I can't believe you did that with your son." And then my dad replied, "Well, I guess we can't hang out anymore. We're a bad influence on each other."
Hey, it's real simple. If you can't hang, I guess he'll have to stay home.
I love it. That's awesome. What advice, Mr. Pampolina, would you give our young viewers, which you already kind of did, but maybe we can sum it up. What advice could you give some of our young viewers that are getting ready to tie the knot, or maybe they're in it and they're on the fence trying to maybe jump ship, and we're going to save them?
Yes.
What would you say?
Once again, you have chosen a mate, and you're willing to make that commitment for marriage. It's not a short term. It's not something that you go into and say a year later, "I'm bailing out of here." You need to know that mate. If you have any doubts right now that he or she is not right for you, then you really need to do your soul searching and end it now. It's a big step because I know we're in the industry. We've had those calls with saying everything was chosen, everything was picked, everything was done, and at the last minute, either the female or the male bows out. It's better to do it then and get over a short-term hurt than a lifetime of hurt. It's real simple. Remember, that's your soulmate. You're not going to change each other. The habits and the reason you chose them is for that. So make sure you keep that in mind, and their priorities are real simple. God, family, and work. And that is all that is important as those priorities.
Love it. You heard it here first. My dad has always preached to lead by example. They have been an amazing example. They've been together now for 53 years, 57 together, married for 53, as I'm going on now. I'm married for 11. So thank you for the great example.
And one other statement. And I know in my heart when I say this. I can't imagine my life without Ginger Marie in it. And if you can answer that question, you will have a very strong marriage.
Awesome. You heard it here first.
Hit it, Gons!
All right, kids, so what do you think? Did we learn a few things today in our search for true love and the concept of marriage? I think we did. One, maybe wait a little bit before you dive into that commitment. Give it a little bit of time. You know, marriage is supposed to be forever, so why rush into it? Two, you look at that partner in the eye and you say what my dad told my mom. You're not going anywhere. We're committed to this. I love it. And you know, a lot of people have asked me about my wife and how we met. And when we met, I wasn't at the best place in my life, and she had no idea of my past. And then we became connected, and then we got close. And then she found out about my past. And then some things at that time started making a little bit more sense. And it was pretty amazing because then she truly saw the good in me at the time, besides what was going on and the state that I was in, and saw the potential in me. And it was true and genuine, and again, had no idea of what was going on with my past. And by then, we were already too close and too connected, so she couldn't flee. Kind of amazing how that works out. So I want to thank my guest today, Mr. Philip Pampolina, a.k.a. Dad, for coming by, interviewing. This was a very fun episode, and it's a blessing to be able to do it for you guys. We really appreciate it. And you've just been tongue lashed by Damon Pampolina.